Good morning and welcome. My name is Demaya Z. Richardson Sanders, and I serve as a state program team leader for 4-H youth development within SC State University's 1890 Research and Extension Program. We gather today for the ceremonial signing of a partnership between SC State University, 1890 Research and Extension, and educational firm STEM-U. Both SC State 1890 and STEM-U share a compelling vision that will most certainly transform the lives of South Carolina's K-12 youth. These two organizations are partnering to connect STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics to education. All too often, access to STEM literacy and STEM education programs are restricted by socioeconomic factors such as where someone lives or what school he or she attends. This STEM education collaboration seeks to break the barriers that prevent underserved students from having access to quality learning opportunities. Students who participate in the programs and activities that you will learn more about as today's event progresses will become the solution for this ever-increasing complex world. As the director who leads a team of 4-H youth development agents across the state, I can tell you that we are excited and proud for the future of South Carolina's children. With that said, we will proceed with the program. SC State University President James E. Clark will follow me and deliver the opening remarks. Then, Dr. Lewis Whitesides, Vice President and Executive Director of 1890 Research and Extension, and STEM-U Director of Partnership Development, Mr. Christopher Williams, will give remarks on the significance of this partnership, which will then lead to the official signing. And we will end with closing remarks from Associate Extension Administrator, Mr. Eddie Abidjan. Again, we welcome you to this ceremonial signing, and we thank you for joining us. President Clark.
Thank you, Ms. Richardson Sanders. Good morning, everyone. It's a wonderful day to be in South Carolina. I'm James E. Clark, 12th President of South Carolina State University. And as you know, you can see we observe wearing our masks and social distances because of COVID. Today, the 1890 Research and Extension of South Carolina State University is making a clear statement of its intent to further propel South Carolina forward with a new initiative focused on investing in our state's youth. We call the initiative Vision 2026. Vision 2026 will result in making STEM education opportunities available to children across the Palmetto State, particularly for those who live in underserved and underrepresented communities. Now, we are all aware of the glaring statistics of minority participation in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, often referred to as STEM. And in many of our K-12 schools across the country, students of color are missing out on the opportunities to engage in STEM-related courses and programs, so that by the time they have reached college, they are less likely to major in the various critical STEM degree programs, like biology, chemistry, physics, as well as civil, mechanical, electrical, industrial, or nuclear engineering, along with mathematics and computer science. Now, this poses a serious problem. Our most challenging issues, from health to environmental sustainability, to food insecurities, etc., all require solutions rooted in a STEM-based education. So if students from underserved communities, whether rural or urban, are not exposed to quality STEM curricula then they are going to be losing, we are going to be losing potential innovators whose contributions would be essential for continued growth and creativity. It also means that we're losing a generation whose quality of life could significantly improve with a career that was based in STEM. Vision 2026 will expose scholars to STEM education beyond the traditional coursework and empower them to consider countless career pathways. In collaborative and project-based learning environments, participants will be immersed in things like robotics engineering, software development, drone engineering and technologies. And here's one of my favorite aspects of Vision 2026. It even includes a program model that will provide exposure to aerospace engineering, where scholars may have the prospect of earning their aviation pilot's license and maybe even build a flyable aircraft one day. So as you can see, the potential for Vision 2026 is immeasurable, but also essential for the future of STEM and STEM-based education. At South Carolina State University, we understand the value and significance of STEM learning. We actively recruit and train the next generation of leaders in areas such as biological and environmental sciences, the chemistry and the various engineering disciplines mentioned earlier. And interestingly enough, we offer the only undergraduate degree program in nuclear engineering in the state of South Carolina, and actually the only 4-year nuclear engineering degree from any HBCU in the nation. And just recently, we inked partnerships with tech giant Samsung and energy giants Westinghouse and Dominion Energy and the world's leading video sharing and social networking site TikTok, and there are many more to come in the upcoming weeks and months. For this program, this initiative, and this valuable undertaking for our state, I'd like to thank Dr. Whiteside and his team, along with STEM Muse Mr. Christopher Williams, for having the foresight to develop such a program as Vision 2026. South Carolina State University is certainly leading the way in innovation and underscoring our commitment to science and engineering for a brighter future for our region, for the state, and for the world. Thank you.
Well, it's a great day at South Carolina State University. What can I say? This is a historic day for us. It is a day that I'm really proud of and really glad of. Mr. Williams and his team has been excellent. He'll talk a little more about their program. But what I want to talk about a little bit is about how this came about. I want to thank Ms. Richardson and her staff. Ms. Richardson came up and talked about the 4-H program. The 4-H program is our most robust program. And it's near and dear to my heart because I was a 4-H'er when I was growing up. And I know how the exposure to different things being in underserved communities can be thwarted if you don't have the actual avenues to do so. 4-H does that. It lends you the opportunity to do things. So as our team got together and we started talking about how do we push the envelope? How do we get our kids more engaged in STEM? And there's a lot of STEM programs out there, and there's a lot of good STEM programs out there. But how can we be different? And as we brainstormed and came together and started talking to Mr. Williams and his group, some things kind of jumped out at us. You know, we have a few different focuses on our program. First of all, we can deliver this program in all 46 counties in the state. That's the first thing. Last year, even during COVID, our folks saw over 6,000 kids participated in our programs. So we have a real robust 4-H program, and this is going to only push us further along down the road to getting our kids engaged into the next big industry or the industry that's here. Just being in a position to fill a lot of the jobs that are going to be available to them. But before we do that, we have to make sure that they're interested. We have to make sure that we have programs and activities that they actually want to do, and we're not pushing on them. So as we went down this road to design these things, with Mr. Williams and his group, we came up with a few different areas. We talk about coding, and not just any coding. Coding is fine, but video games is a really, really big deal with our kids right now. So why can't our kids design their own video games? You know, that's going to be the focus of our coding. You know, you're thinking about robotics. You know, robotics, we've had robotics for a while and that sort of thing, but the real big thing is the robotics competitions that's on TV right now, with all the kids participating. They putting these teams together, all those kind of things. So our kids are going to participate in that. They're going to build their robotics, and they're going to participate in these national competitions, and they're going to win. They're not just going to participate, they're going to win. So then you talk about drones. Drones is the actual area where I think we can make the most impact. Right now, it's a major shortage of drone certified individuals. Why can't our kids fill that void? Our kids will be in a position to not only fly drones, but they will individually build their own drones from scratch. Once they build their drones, they will fly their drones. The next step of that is getting their drone certification to where they can get paid for drones. I know we just, hired a drone company to do some work with us. I see Dr. Adasi back there, and they charged us $2,500 to come out and do some drone work for us for 1 day's work. So I don't know about you, but 5 days work is $10,000. I think a lot of our kids are really benefit from being able to make $10,000 a week flying drones and taking the actual data and stuff that we're asking them to do. So drone certification, not only flying drones, but being certified is to be able to monetize it. But that's the first phase. Let's go to the second phase. The first phase is a precursor to the certification. I talk about the drone certification, but one thing that the conversation that we had before we actually came live with Mr. Williams and the president was, in some instances, when we're talking about your aviation and your pilot's license, our kids will be able to get a pilot's license before they actually get a driver's license. So imagine that. Your parent having to drive you to the airport, you pass your pilot's license, you can fly airplane, but you can't drive yourself home. That's a story that the president told us on the way over here before we even got started. And that's the things that we want to expose our kids to. So we want them to imagine as far as they can imagine. And we look at our kids and our minority kids and how many minority kids are actually pilots or fly airplanes and that sort of thing. It's not a whole lot. I know it's less than probably 1 or 2%, Mr. Williams, if that. So having that avenue for our kids to actually participate, being able to dream as far as their imagination can take them, and us having the actual mechanisms to get them there. So I'll end on this. We are really, really excited about this partnership, but one thing that I left out that is the big deal in this whole thing is artificial intelligence. Now, I'm not going to go into artificial intelligence, but artificial intelligence is the end result of what this is going to do for our kids. Artificial intelligence, as you know, is going to run the world. It's projected that in 15 years, 35 to 40% of all the jobs that are performed right now will not be around because of artificial intelligence. Our kids have to be exposed to that. So with that, I will end. Thank you very much for your attention here today. Thank you very much for tuning in. And excellence is the SC State way. Mr. Williams.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Christopher Williams. I am the director and the founder of STEMU. Our initiatives are basically like Dr. Whiteside said, connecting scholars to STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and math. So, with that being said, I want to make sure I talk a little bit about our company and our organization and what we're doing with this partnership. At STEMU, we look at STEM as a holistic model. And when I say holistic model, we look at the 4 disciplines, science, technology, engineering, and math, as solving problems, making scholars critical thinkers, making sure they understand that STEM works together in one uniform synopsis to be able to actually solve a problem, to create a solution or be able to opportunity for scholars to be successful. Our mission is to develop not STEM employees, but STEM career problem solvers, persons that actually have the opportunity to be sustainable. When I say sustainable, give them the opportunity to go into a STEM pathway, but knowing that pathway can yield in so many different areas. Computer science, drone certification, cybersecurity, engineering, and that's various forms of engineering. And by exposing these scholars in grades K through 12 at an early age, we're giving them the injection that they need to be successful, but not only successful, sustainable. So our goal is to make sure scholars not only be forced and exposed to STEM, but making sure they understand how STEM can take them to that next form of life success. We want to make sure that parents not only understand how STEM can give their scholars that sustainable career, and we're talking about AI, artificial intelligence, we're talking about FAA certified pilots, but also give them the opportunity to make sure they're creating generational opportunities. STEM is one of the avenues that it takes a scholar to level the playing field, meaning that you could be an academic scholar, go to a 4-year institution, go to a 2-year institution, or you can come out and be an innovator, and you have still the same opportunity to be successful like those other persons that are introduced and exposed to STEM at an early age. Our goal is to make sure STEM is not something that students can walk away with just a piece of paper, but can walk away with those skills, those tangible soft skills. Understand how project-based learning connects the dots, making sure students now know how to take that drone that they now have a license, which is an FAA 107 certification, but take that drone to now solve that problem, to go out and figure out where can we take and make now erosion or take data, but we can use a drone to do that. How can we use this robot to transport products from one place to the next place? How can we go into a corporation and transport parts by using a drone and a device? So drones are bigger than just a piece of paper certification. STEM is just bigger than just the 4 disciplines. It's understanding that problem solving is the key in the aspirations. So Dr. Clark, President Clark, Dr. Whiteside and his team, we're very grateful for this opportunity to be able to expose more scholars to STEM, and we thank you guys for the opportunity.
Thank you, Chris. Now for the exciting moment that we're all here for. We will now begin the official signing ceremony. Just to let the audience know, we will not exchange the agreement as traditionally done. So gentlemen, on the count of 3, please sign your agreement. 1, 2, 3. Awesome. Now it's all completed. We will now have our closing remarks by Mr. Eddie Avajon, Associate Extension Administrator.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we just experienced something great for the youth in South Carolina, but also for all the youth within the minority group. My name is Edouard Boujon, and I'm the Associate Extension Administrator at South Carolina State University 1890 Research and Extension. Extension program, we champion lifelong learning and provide program, project, training, workshop activity in the area of agriculture, natural resource and environment, family, nutrition and health, community economic development, and 4-H youth development. We understand how education plays a vital role in improving quality life and raise the standard of living of individual, family, and community. The collaboration between South Carolina State University 1890 Research and Extension and the STEMU illustrate how partnership between organizations can enhance the vibrancy of community and better position our students to lead. Let's pause on that for a second. Our youth development program carefully consider what it takes to develop a 21st century leader through personal development and civic engagement. I repeat, our youth development program carefully consider what it takes to develop a 21st century leader through personal development and civic engagement. More importantly, however, we emphasize the importance of academic enhancement and learning through similar programs and initiatives such as Vision 2026 that the President just mentioned. We are delighted to offer best-in-class learning opportunity in STEM education to South Carolina youth. They are deserving of this opportunity, and we will continue to provide learning experience that will enrich their life. If we don't do it, who's gonna do it? This concludes our program today. I wish to thank President Clark for your remark, Mr. Christopher Williams for your dedication, the entire 1890 community for joining us today, and I thank each one of you for taking time out of your busy schedule and in this COVID-19 environment. Thank you. You all have a blessed day, and we'll see you next.